Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about how you can do a backsplash in your home for real cheap, and we're not going to be doing real tile. You don't have to mess with grout and all that other stuff. You don't have to call somebody to do it. You should be able to do this completely by yourself. All you need to do is go get the stuff and be able to cut it and measure a couple of things, and you can do it all by yourself for very, very cheap. So let's get right into it. Come on. So first we're going to go into my bathroom, and then we're going to go back into the kitchen. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. This is a backsplash I did, excuse the mess, backsplash I did on around my tub. Now this is real thin stuff. And it's peel and stick. And it comes in sheets. It's like 10 by 10. One edge is like this, and then the other edge where they meet, you can see right in here there's a little bit of a crease, and one side is flat over here like this, and then the next sheet you put on is like this, and it will over connect on here so it looks like that, and it looks really good. Now you can get these from Lowe's and Home Depot, I believe, but it's peel and stick tile and it's fake tile, but it looks really good. You can do this by yourself. All you need to do is be able to cut it, and you can cut this with a pair of scissors. I use a little bit bigger pair of scissors. The bigger pair of scissors you have, it's easier to do that with. But that is what you do. All you do is just wherever you're going to put this, it's got a back on it, and you get wherever you want to go to put it at, and you just peel the back off. And it does have a crease in the middle. I think they're 10 inches tall, so you got like 5-inch strips that you can tear and make it a 5-inch strip if you need to. Most of the time I just use it like this, like the 10 inches that it is. But you just get wherever you want to and make sure it's clean and there's no crap back there. And pull the back off and stick it right on, and make sure you get it on there really good, and that's pretty much it. Then once you get to a corner or somewhere you need to get around, just measure the dimensions around whatever you're going to cut around and just cut it. And then once you get it cut, peel the back off and stick it onto the wall, and it's that easy. And you can put this anywhere. I think these 10 by 10 sheets, I think they're pretty much the same no matter where you get them from, but I think they're like right at $7 or $8, so it's not that expensive. If you've got like a real huge area, it can add up, but it's a whole lot cheaper than doing regular tile, and you have to get grout, and there's no mess. You don't have to put anything on this. You just peel the back off and stick it where you want. I've had these on here for probably about 3 years, and I haven't had any of them curl up or fall off the wall or anything like that. So it's a great alternative to doing this versus dealing with real tile and doing a real backsplash. It's not as thick as real tile, and it's a whole lot easier to put on, and you don't have to call some contractor or anything to do it for you. Anybody can do this by yourself. So now let's go into the kitchen, and I'll show you how I do that. Just cut this light off. Before we go into the kitchen, I did want to show you this other project I did with this same stuff. Like I said, you can put it anywhere. I did this in another house in the kitchen. Went all the way from one end of the counter in the kitchen all the way to a wall, and did that whole entire thing. And most of the time when you're using this stuff, from the top of the counter to the bottom of the cabinets that you have, if you have cabinets above your counter in the kitchen, it's usually going to take 2 sheets. Sometimes I've done it, it's taken a little bit less than 2 sheets, so you'll have to cut some of the top off. Another good thing that I found to use if you run into that is use one of those big boards with a handle that chops down like this to cut it. That will cut it as long as you hold it still and kind of like do this with it or whatever, but that works good. If you need to cut all the way across it and you want a good straight line, that's the best way to do that. Just butt it up and get it where you just mark it beforehand and then cut it down there. That works really well. If you need to cut a solid line, like cut some of the top off like I did on this house, But I went from one end of the counter all the way over to the wall, and I had to do that on that top layer. And then I did that whole entire area And then going around the oven, I didn't cut around the oven. I just put the whole sheet all the way at the back, so don't worry about cutting around the oven. It's easier to just go ahead and put a full sheet back there, even though you only see a little bit of the sheet, that's fine. Just go ahead and put the whole sheet there, it's less cut and it's less time. Just go ahead and do that. Then I went to all the way to the wall, got that done, and then on a later date, I had to do a other shorter side of the wall, whole another counter in the same kitchen, and did the same thing. I had to cut a little bit off the top, and I went from the other wall over to the where the side of the fridge was. When you run into stuff like that, if you put a whole sheet there, I always just go ahead and put a whole sheet there because it'll cover it up and you ain't got to worry about cutting or anything. So that's how I did that. That's another area. So now let's go ahead and go into the kitchen. Alright, so here's this. It's pretty much the same thing. I got this years before I did what I did in the bathroom. So if you get some of them one year and then you go to do it a different year, it's probably changed. So don't start something that you're not going to finish. If you're going to do one thing, like this one wall here, I did all the way over to the fridge, to the wall. If you're going to do a big area like that or bigger, make sure you get all that you need for that one job. Otherwise, by the time you go back and get it, it's probably going to be a little bit different. But this is just as easy to put on. It's the same thing. And then when you've got areas like this, how it goes around the window and everything, all you do is just measure it before you stick it on. Measure it, cut it however you need it, and peel the back off and stick it on. Then if you're going around receptacles like this, this is so thin that you can take the covers off around the receptacles. All it is 2 screws on here. You just take that off, take it off, and then put your sheets on, and just cut around this receptacle here and just leave a little bit of space so it's not actually on top of that. Get it on all the way, and then you can just put the cover back over top of these, and it's fine, just like it was, and you don't have to worry about actual tile, how it'll stick out farther and maybe kind of look weird. This is so thin you can just cut around the receptacle, put it on, then put your cover back over it. So real easy, relatively cheap, and it looks really good. Whew. That was thunder. I don't know if you heard that. It's storming pretty bad outside. Anyway, so that is how you can do a backsplash for really, really cheap. I did this backsplash in my kitchen, and I did one around the tub in my bathroom. You can put it anywhere you want. It'll stick to just about anything, and as long as you pull the back off, stick it on, and press it down really good, and go around all the edges and make sure everything lines up good, cut it how you need it. I don't think it will ever come off. It hasn't come off in the few years that I've had this one there, so it's really, really good. It's a whole lot cheaper than regular tile. So that is how you can do a backsplash in your home for really, really cheap. If you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I do a whole lot of how-to videos like this and talk about how you do stuff you can do by yourself. You don't have to call a contractor in to do it. You should be able to do this all by yourself. So if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And if you haven't yet, be sure to consider getting subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.